Welcome to Hypnosis Health Info. I'm Roger Moore. Some of you have heard me talk about horseradish and how much I love my horseradish and how good it is on things like baked potatoes, and how I love to make tomato and lettuce sandwiches with a good spicy mustard and horseradish. And the other day, as I was waiting for the toast to pop up in the toaster for my tomato sandwich, I was looking at this new mustard that I'd found, and it was just rereading the label and the ingredients, and the ingredients read pretty well, and I don't know why, but I turned over the jar of horseradish, and much to my dismay, I don't know if I've never seen it before or how I missed this, but much to my dismay, the second ingredient was high-fructose-corn-syrup. I had a fit. I couldn't believe that I've been eating a horseradish that contained high-fructose-corn-syrup. And just was appalled that they would put corn syrup in horseradish. There's no reason for that. You know, as a kid growing up on the farm, we'd go out and dig up the horseradish root out of the garden, and we'd come in and squash it and scrape it and run it in the food grater there, and put in a little bit of salt and some vinegar and put it in a fruit jar and set it in the refrigerator, and we had great horseradish. So after reading this label, I went out to the grocery store and found horseradish root and bought a root of that, and one of my projects coming up here this weekend is to peel that thing and put it in the food processor with a little bit of sea salt and some vinegar and make myself some horseradish. And so what caught my attention today earlier on the internet was an article that was from Natural News, June 15th of 2010, written by Ethan Huff. And it's sugar industry acting more and more like big tobacco in its ridiculous defenses of high fructose corn syrup. And it was quite a lengthy article. I'm not going to read the whole article to you, but it says that, in part, that it's a likely no-brainer to many in the natural health world that processed refined sweeteners like white sugar and high fructose corn syrup are unhealthy. Studies continue to show these toxic sweeteners lead to obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and other serious illnesses. But in the mainstream world, there is still somehow a debate over whether or not these toxins are actually harmful and over which one is preferable. And it should be no surprise that the biggest defenders of processed sugar and high fructose corn syrup are the industries that produce them. And of course, the Corn Refiners Association is now spending big money marketing high fructose corn syrup as safe. After all, it is one of their primary cash cows. Some of this group's untruthful claims include alleging that high fructose corn syrup is natural because it comes from the corn, and that it is safe in moderation. Most people, with even the slightest bit of understanding into the subject, wholly disagree with such claims. So does the myriad of scientific studies that indicate that processed sweeteners like high fructose corn syrup are partially responsible for America's growing diseases and obesity epidemic. The truth of the matter is that both refined white sugar and high fructose corn syrup are harmful to health, whether consumed moderately or in excess. Obviously, the more one consumes, the worse off he or she is, but the point is that the debate is focusing entirely on the wrong hypothesis. The best forms of sugar are the ones that occur naturally in things like fruit and vegetables. And when a recipe calls for an added sweetener, natural options like stevia, raw agave, and coconut sugar are far superior to refined sugars because they contain vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that are otherwise stripped away during refining. These cofactors contribute to the digestion and assimilation of sugars, keeping the blood sugar at proper levels. When these are not present, the body is unable to process the sugar properly, leading to all sorts of health problems. You know, folks, when you're cooking, you can be surprisingly creative and with how you sweeten your foods. And you know, like when I make a pasta sauce, I'll be cooking my tomatoes and cook them down, and if they get you know, a little bit of acidity and need a little bit of sweetener, I'll take a fresh pear, peel it, and I'll just keep slicing and putting in slices of pear and cooking that into the pasta sauce, and it just kind of mellows it out. It takes that acidy edge off of it, gives it a just a very soft, sensual flavor and a wonderful aroma to the pasta sauce. And people love my homemade pasta sauce. And of course, they always want the recipe, and I never really know it because I just kind of make it up as I go along. But that's one of the ways you can sweeten foods without synthetic sweeteners, artificial sweeteners, without white sugar. You can really make some very tasty, very healthy foods. And if you want other ideas for food recipes, check out slenderforlife.com and click on the recipes there. You could certainly go to drmcdougall.com. He has great recipes, Dr. John McDougall does there. The Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, pcrm.org, has great recipes. Fatfreevegan.com, which is one of my favorite resources, has great healthy recipes. Fatfree.com and VegSource.com all have great recipes. I think between those what is that, 5-6 websites there, I've counted over 7,000 free recipes. And I doubt there's any of them, or very few of them anyway, that have any white sugar in them, and certainly no artificial sweeteners. So lots of ways that you can make healthy meals pretty simply, pretty inexpensively, that are fun, that taste good, that are very delicious, and are healthy. You don't have to use white sugar, and you certainly don't have to use high-fructose corn syrup. And as I said earlier when I was talking about my horseradish, the lesson learned there is read all the labels and look and see in those ingredients, make sure that there's no corn syrup in them. And be sure and take a look around here at the tools and resources at Hypnosis Health Info that will support you and help you in your health and wellness. And if you live here in Bainbridge Island, the Kitsap Peninsula, the Olympic Peninsula, I'd love to see you here or over in Forks when I'm over there. Or if you're on the other side of the water, I have an office in the Medical Dental Building downtown Seattle, and I'm happy to meet with you there. And if you live too far away, then we can set up a phone and internet support system to help you in your goals of health and wellness. So give me a call, 206-903-1232, or shoot me an email, roger@hypnosishealthinfo.com, and let me know how to support you. I'm Roger Moore, and this is Hypnosis Health Info.